So it looks like closing of the Xbox Activision deal is on hold right now, and that's all because of CMA. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is July 18th, the last day for Microsoft and Activision to close their deal. But looks like that's not going to happen, not today at least, right? So what is going on then? Well, don't worry, nobody is actually walking away from that deal because that's what Activision's Bobby Kotick said a while ago, that if they don't close this deal until 18th, he will just walk away. Looks like there's going to be an extension of the original contract. Apparently it's possible to make some amendments in a special circumstances without going back to like investors and shareholders and that kind of stuff. So looks like that's what has been happening. They've been amending this contract. So I don't know what's the end date for that deal is now, like internally. We know the final decision date of the CMA, which is still blocking this deal. This is still on CMA. This is still their fault. But the good news is they are cooperative now. They want to work with Microsoft to allow this deal to go through. Now, I'm not saying that they've changed their mind. I might have said that, but they didn't really change their mind per se. They are still standing by their original decision, right? But what has changed, obviously, is the fact that Microsoft has come up with some sort of resolution, which, do satisfy CMA, right? So that's good news. Okay, so obviously the deal will not close today. And today I really want to talk about something, not necessarily about the details of what's going to be happening, but rather I want to talk about some comments I've seen on Twitter and YouTube where people were like, hey, Microsoft should just, don't wait, just close the deal over CMA. I mean, who cares about UK and whatever, right? And I understand the frustration of because people are frustrated by the fact that CMA did block this deal. If it wasn't for them, the deal would be done. Probably even like not today, but way like probably a couple of weeks ago, because really CMA is the only ones that are still blocking it. I think they are still waiting for Australia. I'm not sure if they can actually block this deal. Because I'm not sure if they've got presence there. Probably some presence is there. And Canada was complaining about this deal recently too, but from what I've heard, their complaint was too late, so they did not stick to the procedure. So like they can complain all they want. That's not really going to change things anyway, right? So now we are just waiting for CMA, and it will take some time. Probably couple of weeks, let's hope not 6 weeks, but maybe 1 or 2 weeks, hopefully. But I want to talk about the fact that Microsoft will not close this deal over CMA, not waiting for them, because that would be a bad decision for them on many levels. And I want to talk about why. So first off, obviously that would be a terrible PR for Microsoft, right? I mean, we've got this billion company that is ignoring regulators, that they don't care about the local laws and that kind of stuff. So obviously Microsoft is under scrutiny anyway, because Microsoft is known for a monopolistic behavior in the past. That did happen. Microsoft of Steve Ballmer, for example, or even Gates, and today's Microsoft are totally different companies, right? They are not as bullish as they used to be. Like back in the days, Microsoft was like, hey, here's our product, and they would just shove it up your throat, literally, right? Like any way possible. Like, they would obviously ignore some, not necessarily laws, but there were a number of cases where Microsoft had to pay a lot of fines, and they were ignoring. They would pay the fines, but like obviously Microsoft was looked at as this big IT bully, right? And they don't want that. They want to be customer friendly. They want to be business friendly. They want to be open for business, basically, right? So that's a new Microsoft, and they offer a lot of services now and stuff, right? So, and also, so that's PR thing, right? Like, they don't want to have a bad PR again. Another thing is that obviously, if they were to close over CMA, not waiting for them, they could expose themselves to some sort of fines, right? So that would cost them money, right? So, and also, so money is one thing, but imagine how would CMA react to such thing if they are in the process of figuring out how to allow this deal, right? CMA is not a good guy here, of course, but, under pressure, they did basically not change their mind, but they are willing to kind of like cooperate, right? That's a big shift anyway. I didn't expect that anyway, to be honest with you. Not many people did actually expect that. There were just a few like false patents, for example. But so now imagine like CMA learning about the fact that, here we are with Microsoft at the table working things out, and on top of, and at the same time Microsoft is closing this deal anyway. So what's the point of these talks if you just close this deal, right? So that would not help the whole CMA process, if you know what I mean, right? So that's second point. Third point is that that was third point really. So the fourth point is really the fact that Microsoft will be acquiring more companies in the future. They keep acquiring different companies all the time, right? They did buy Minecraft. They bought Skype, Teams. Teams is not Microsoft product, I don't think, right? Or is it? I don't know. They bought Git and a number of different companies, right? So the last thing which Microsoft needs right now is regulators being on their neck, right? And you don't really want to. We are going back to the whole PR thing, really, but it's more than just PR. It's literally about Microsoft relationships with these regulators, right? If Microsoft is going to, and they will at some point in the future, when Microsoft will decide to buy another company, I'm not saying necessarily as big as Activision, but more acquisitions are coming, and not only in gaming space, right? Like I said, I just mentioned a number of acquisitions outside of gaming. So as a Microsoft, they are looking at this from like the whole IT perspective, right? And they've got servers. They are offering services, so they don't want to be perceived as a bully, because like when it comes to whenever they will be ready to buy another company, regulators will be looking at that again. So what do you think they will do if they know that Microsoft will buy that company and will absorb fines? That's not really a good strategy, not a good business strategy, right? It makes no sense. So obviously Microsoft would love to close this deal right now and have it done and move on. But I guess from their perspective, waiting extra 2 or 3 weeks or maybe a little bit more, well, they've been working on that deal for 18 months. Do you think 2 or 3 weeks or maybe 4 will make a huge difference? Not really. And I understand that people have concerns about FTC still battling Microsoft and in court and everything, but Microsoft did win with FTC so many times already that do you really think that FTC is capable of blocking this deal in US now? I don't think they do. I don't think they will. When was it? Yes, today or yesterday? There's this gamers lawsuit, and I think like some sort of decision was made there, because like just like FTC, the gamer lawsuit people, which are lawyers basically, Sony lawyers apparently as well. They were trying to get that preliminary injunction too, but in a different court, I think, or maybe the same, I don't know. And obviously, hey, no surprise there, they were denied that, right? So they did lose again. So, they won with FTC twice. Now, a gamer lawsuit, I think they won like twice as well, because the first there was this original gamer lawsuit, then Sony lawyers joined that lawsuit, and they did help to boost this effort a little bit apparently. So like, yeah, Microsoft is actually, juggling a number of things at the same time, but like they have a huge company, they've got a lot of lawyers, so I'm sure they will be fine. And like I said, like, yes, we will have to wait a little bit longer for this deal to close, but I think it will be beneficial for everyone, for Microsoft, for us, because like, do you really want to, listen about how, about all these news coming from, any, another legal battle if Microsoft were to just ignore CMA and close this deal? Because like CMA would not leave that alone like that, right? Microsoft would not get away with this. So like nobody really needs that. So Microsoft just wants to close it, clean, no issues. They want everyone to approve this deal. Then we will finally be able to listen to Microsoft and their plans for ABK, because like this is really what I'm really interested in. Because like I said in many of my previous videos, I'm not necessarily super excited about Activision Blizzard joining from like Call of Duty perspective or some other. I mean, yes, there's a couple of games that like I'm actually pretty happy that will be in Game Pass. Like there's going to be like Crash games going to be in Game Pass. Starfield, like I guess like they are cheap anyway, so like, and they are PC only, so I'm kind of interested. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to transfer all these games from Battle.net to Windows Store and and stuff. But hey, there's Warcraft. Hopefully they will. So actually, there's a number of very good IPs that Activision sits on. So I'm more interested in things like StarCraft, but not necessarily RTS. I mean, I will play them too. Like, don't worry. But I actually more curious about what's going to. Is there any chance to revive StarCraft? How was it called? The third-person StarCraft game. I forgot the full name of this game. So I don't think that particular project would be revived, but maybe just an idea of like can we make like third-person like Gears of War like kind of game? Because actually that would be cool, because the lore and the actual world there is kind of cool. What about some of the IPs made by Raven Software, for example, right? Or what about that Tony Hawk Skater kind of developer? I forgot how they are called. They are very talented guys, like, and like this. So I'm more interested in new projects, and also I've heard from a number of people now. Not insiders, just people in general in the gaming industry, that like apparently Activision has got some new projects they are working on, on top of Call of Duty. Same with Blizzard, but actually Blizzard, Mike Ybarra did confirm that there's actually a couple of interesting projects in the works right now that haven't been announced yet. Like I guess they kind of did one. They did announce one. So this survival kind of game, I forgot the name of it. They semi revealed it. I mean, they kind of did let us know. We haven't really seen any trailer. There was just like a blog post sharing information about this game, but it was more for HR purposes, because they want to hire people for that project. And also Activision Blizzard King actually grew big time, because like 3 or 4 years ago, when there were these first rumors about issues with Activision and whatever, right? Like I think like 3 or 4 years ago, Activision Blizzard King, they had like 12,000 employees. They sit at 17,000 right now. So I mean, they've been buying smaller studios too. So like there's a lot of people there to work on games, like 17,000 employees. Obviously not all of them are developers, but most of them are, obviously, and like a lot of these, developers work on Call of Duty, Diablo, and whatever, right? But anyway, let's not make this video too long. Looks like these couple extra weeks not really going to make much of a difference. Yes, we'll have to wait, but I think it will be beneficial for everyone, and Microsoft will get that deal done soon, and then we will be able to celebrate all these great games in Game Pass. Activision Blizzard King games, not necessarily King because these are mobile games, but you know what I mean. Anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.